Nigeria. I am Becky Madujemu. I welcome you warmly. Thanks for always tuning in. It's going to be a delightful experience on Newsline, your Sunday tonic. Apart from savoring this program every Sunday, most of you do same for rice. Why do Nigerians eat rice on Sunday? Sunday rice, they call it. The responses are interesting, as you will see. Now, there are several touching events that happened recently. As we know, widowhood is a tough journey, and when more deaths occur in a family, it raises many questions. Another curious case: why would the death of an undergraduate cause some people to doubt the truism about honesty being the best policy? We will attempt to answer these questions in our first segment. And during the week, a music legend who doesn't look a day over 60 turned 80. This guitar boy, who isn't scared of mermaids, or mami water as they called in local parlance, will be sharing some of his experiences on the road to success. Then, for some enlightenment, experts present the solutions to snoring. So, if you snore or you live with someone who does, you are at the right place at the right time. Before all these and more, let's hear the news. Elizabeth Omori is presenting.
So much, Becky. We begin the news segment with Women Affairs. The euphoria of March 8 of every year, a day set aside to celebrate women, is in the air again. This year's celebration provides an ample opportunity to reflect on how President Muhammadu Buhari honors the women folk. Here is a checklist of the women in the present administration, as outlined in a statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina.
The global celebration of International Women's Day highlights the economic, social, and political advances made by women and girls all over the world, recognizing the critical role of women in governance structures, security, and peace-building efforts, as well as in all aspects of life. President Muhammadu Buhari, since inception, has given priority to women participation in his government. At the moment, there are 7 women ministers holding sensitive ministries and working assiduously towards socio-economic development of Nigeria. Women remain a galvanizing force and continue to provide support for the men in all areas of development. The economy of Nigeria that is receiving such a boost now is headed by a woman, Zainab Ahmed, who combines finance with budget and national planning. The head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Folashade Yemieson, is leading the engine room of governance, supported by many women, special advisors, and senior special assistants and special assistants in the presidency. The president did Nigerian women proud, addressing the challenges threatening the efforts to promote the empowerment of women, gender equality, and balance in all aspects of national life. This is manifest in the large number of women chief executives heading various organizations and agencies of government. Even though the 8th of March is the day set aside by the United Nations for this celebration, every nation is enjoined globally to observe the day and draw a locally relevant theme from the main international theme. The international theme for 2020 is Choose to Challenge.
Part of events listed out to commemorate this year's International Women's Day are religious activities to appreciate and seek the blessings of Almighty on behalf of Nigerian women and the nation. The Minister for Women Affairs, flanked by other women, were at the Holy Trinity Catholic Church, Maitama, to thank God for the journey so far. Momso Damien Dati reports.
Despite the pandemic and many challenges faced by women the world over, these ones have been spared. To witness yet another Women's Day, a privilege worth celebrating. The women were supported by the Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodinma. While enumerating and counting their many blessings and divine interventions in turbulent times, the women are now more determined to see that the 50-50 place of a woman in every sphere of life becomes a reality.
Working with the parties' constitutional review committees to amend the constitution so that we can have more women to participate effectively in the next coming election.
For this year, the women are considering their role in leadership and zero tolerance to discrimination. In Abuja, Momso Damien Dati, NTA News.
The imperative for women to be steadfast and impact positively their immediate environment is being advocated by Women Group. Abdulmalik Hassan reports that this admonition came as the world marks International Women's Day.
Driven by the need to ensure equal representation for women in the society, in power, politics as well as leadership, these women as a quest challenge gender bias and inequality.
Be the change, we have to dare to challenge, we have to choose to challenge. So as 2023 draws near, I believe that women are going to take their rightful place as leaders and policymakers and decision makers in this power play.
Just like millions of women celebrating this day across the world, they say women should belong to the larger society and not to be stereotyped.
So I say, begin from where you are, make impact, be of service, and let your voice count.
Young women and youths are plagued with this terrible vice, drug abuse. With the youths, no to drug abuse.
Timid women never make history, but the future belongs to the bold.
The group also expressed dismay over the incessant kidnapping of female children at schools, saying a girl child must be given a safe and an enabling environment to thrive. In Abuja, Abdulmalik Hassan, NTA News.
And away from women affairs, the task of building a society desired by all Nigerians is exciting and requires the contribution of all Nigerians, as a challenge for everyone is to build, not to destroy, to add to, not to take away. These are the words of Vice President Yemi Osinbajo at the opening session of an international conference on patriotism, security, governance and national development. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
Speaking on the need for citizens to unite in building a better society, Vice President Osinbajo says the task of nation building is exerting and to even appear messy as the process continues, especially in a multi-ethnic and multi-religious nation like Nigeria.
Rather than turning on each other, we should be banding together against our common enemies, the criminal elements whose true tribe is terror and whose only creed is criminality. The truth of the matter is that there are far more of us and far more Nigerians who are interested in ensuring that this country remains one, and that this country, that we give ourselves a fair chance of working together.
The Vice President also restates his advocacy for the decentralization of the police force.
On his own part, the Nigeria Police is putting a new impetus behind community policing, and this is already being implemented across the states of the Federation. But we must accept that there is a need for greater decentralization of our police force. And I, of course, have been a frequent advocate of state policing. And I believe very seriously that this is ultimately the way we must go.
On steps taken to address the perennial crisis between farmers and herders, the Vice President said the federal and state governments are committed to the implementation of the National Livestock Transformation Plan, as developed by consensus of governors under the auspices of the National Economic Council. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
President Muhammad Buhari has described Vice President Yemi Osinbajo as a reliable and dedicated deputy who is not only admirably competent but also exudes confidence and passion in the performance of his job. The President, in a message to celebrate the Vice President on his 64th birthday, says he is proud of the choice of the Professor of Law as his deputy, adding that the VP has given a good account of himself since 2015, placing the interest of Nigeria above narrow considerations. He wishes him many more prosperous years and prays Almighty God's continued guidance for him. Similarly, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, felicitates with Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo as he clocks 64 years tomorrow, March 8. Gbajabiamila describes Osinbajo as a patriotic and democrat who has for many decades dedicated himself to serving humanity. In the same vein, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu congratulates VP Osinbajo on the occasion of his 64th birthday. The APC national leader prays for many more productive years and the best of health for Professor Osinbajo as he gives thanks to God for the life of the preacher and leader. The Senate has fixed a timeline of 2 months for the passage of the 6 bills related to the aviation sector undergoing amendments, while on an oversight to the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos. The Senate Committee on Aviation said this is part of renewed vigor to support any initiative that will make the industry safer and boost the confidence of investors. Michael Olale reports.
Despite weathering the storm of COVID-19 pandemic, the sky is still gloomy for the aviation industry. In spite of the challenging time, remodeling of the 21 airports across the country, completion of a new terminal in Kano, the almost completed new terminal at the Lagos airport, and the reconstruction of the runway at Enugu are some of the interventions reawakening the hope of returning to normal. But the reality here is that the industry is in dire need of government support for post-COVID-19 stabilization.
This can be achieved by suspending the contribution to the Federation account in compliance with the ICAO standards and recommended practices, as spelled out in document 9562 on airport revenue generation, which provides that revenue generated by airports should be transparently reinvested wholly in operating and developing airport facilities.
Consenting to funds request, the lawmakers explained that this is a matter of constitutional provision, but that within its mandate, the Senate is exploring legislative instruments to make the industry competitive globally.
So we expect a more robust atmosphere for business and enterprise globally. In essence, there will be more activities in the airports globally than what we had last year. What that we demand from us is that our oversight function will be more regular this year.
Aviation is all about safety.
Pertinent to the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority presently is the passage of the Civil Aviation Act as amended, based on the new mandate and embedded rules it will give to the agency. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NTA News.
As part of its infrastructure investment efforts aimed at promoting economic development and enhanced travel time across Lagos State, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has inaugurated a 1.4-kilometer dual carriageway flyover in Penn Cinema Access in Agege local government area of the state. Musa Tolia reports.
The Penn Cinema intersection in Agege is one of the busiest in Lagos due to its linkage with 5 major routes, including Abule-Egba, Ogba, Agege-Oja, Iyanekpaja, and Iju. The fusion of the routes into Agege therefore created an unprecedented gridlock and loss of man-hours, which motorists have had to grapple with over the years.
One of the most critical challenges that residents in this area used to have around Agege Penn Cinema axis was on a daily basis the traffic gridlock that has been part of the living in this area for years. And today, 648 days after, we have completed 100% and we're handing it over to the good people of Agege and all of its environs.
National leader of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, used the occasion to canvass for peaceful coexistence among Nigerians.
There's no development if there's no peace. We must embrace peace.
The 1.4-kilometer Agege Penn Cinema Bridge spans across intersections of Old Abeokuta Road and Iju-Shaga Road, with a ramp to enhance vehicular movement towards Abule-Egba and its environs. In Lagos, Musa Toliad, NTA News.
And the burden of flood and other environmental hazards borne by communities that constitute Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission over the years may soon be over. This is sequel to the successful takeoff of the Commission's Governing Council inaugural meeting held in Minna, the Niger State capital. Sulaiman Kodogi reports.
For years, riverine communities hosting hydroelectric power dams in Nigeria have continued to grapple with challenges ranging from environmental degradation, displacement, and loss of source of livelihood to overflooding of River Niger and its tributaries. Since the establishment of Hydroelectric Power Producing Development Commission to, among other things, formulate policies to address recurring flooding in the host community, promote its physical development, and tackle problem of inadequate electricity supply, much has not been heard of its activities. The inaugural meeting of Governing Council of the Commission, however, brought a ray of hope to the affected communities spread across 7 states in the country. The Governing Council promised to justify the confidence reposed in them.
We have been given the mandate to set up structures, assemble financial, human and material resources, and also partner with relevant international and local agencies towards redressing these cumulative challenges.
The need for integration and concern is believed will in no small way cushion the effect of the hardship being faced by the inhabitants.
The Governing Council members also pay homage on the Emir of Mina, Alhaji Umar Farouk Bago, to intimate the royal father on the Commission's blueprint. In Mina, Suleiman Kodogi, NTA News.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Ibrahim Attairu, has approved appointment of new General Officers Commanding, Principal Staff Officers, Commandants of military institutions and Corps Commanders of units and formations of the Nigerian Army. Major highlights of the appointments include the appointment of Major General S.A. Yaro as the Commandant of Nigerian Defence Academy, Kaduna, and Major General R.J.J. Ogunlade as the new Force Commander, Multinational Joint Task Force in Chad. All appointments take effect from March 10, 2021. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency Kano State Command has employed a robust strategy in its war against drug abuse. Yohana Suhasan Bara reports that the command has in less than 24 hours intercepted more than 500 kilograms of high psychotropic substances in the state.
Since his assumption into office early 2021, the new National Drug Law Enforcement Agency boss, Brigadier General Buba Marwa, promised to reposition the agency for an efficient fight against illicit drug trafficking in Nigeria. This is exactly what the command in Kano is doing to ensure the mission of the NDLEA chairman. During the operation, psychotropic substances have been confiscated. 18-year-old Suleiman Sadiq is among those apprehended.
Whenever I take in drugs, I feel like above everybody, but I promise to take it again.
In line with this new tempo and the hopes which General Marwa has put in the minds of NDL officers over the country, the Kano Command will not be an exception. We have always been keeping the tempo very high.
The narcotic officers, according to the commandant, will continue to fight the menace which has eaten deep into the social fabric of Nigeria, but however, calls for concerted efforts between sister agencies, traditional rulers, and religious leaders. In Kano, Yohana Sahasambaro, NTA News.
Meanwhile, stakeholders on security matters in the south-south geopolitical zone of the country have aligned with the federal government's desire of establishing community policing. The stakeholders made their position known at a sensitization meeting in Benin. Good luck, NINE reports.
It is in view of finding solution to the security challenges in the country that led to the clamor of community policing by the citizenry. Now that the federal government has given its approval, there is the need to educate the citizenry on what the framework will look like, as well as their roles in the process. The Inspector General of Police, Abubakar Adamu, represented by the AIG Zone 6, Zaki Ahmed, said the need for community policing is necessitated by the current realities.
This partnership is aimed at bringing policing to the grassroots and the involvement of all to take ownership and participation of the very instrument of safety and security which affects all strata of the society.
Godwin Obaseki, who was represented by the Deputy Philip Shaibu, sued for effective collaboration among stakeholders.
It's when we strengthen institutions that will solve our problem halfway. If you don't strengthen institutions, then anything you build is going to crash.
Though the stakeholders are happy with the initiative, they also express some reservations.
There should be recruitment of more policemen.
We should not allow it in the hands of our political leaders.
The community sits up to work towards the common good. We can minimize the rate of crimes.
Coming together, we made them to identify
the problem in the society.
The sensitization in the South-South geopolitical zone concludes the series of meetings which started on the 26th of January in Abuja. In Benin, good luck in NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari celebrates the resourcefulness and resilience of City People magazine as it clocks 25 years on the newsstand, congratulating the publisher, Mr. Sheye Kendi, the staff and management of the magazine, as well as the media industry in general. The president notes that attaining quarter of a century is a remarkable milestone, particularly in an industry faced with stiff mortality challenges. President Buhari encourages the celebrity journalism genre, where City People is a market leader, to ensure that facts remain sacred and to celebrate all that is noble, decent, and inspiring in Nigeria's national life. In a statement by its media advisor, Femi Adesina, President Buhari wishes the magazine, in the moving spirit behind it, greater successes in the decades ahead. The State House has allayed the fears of citizens home and abroad over a fire incident in Aso Rock, noting that there was no fire inside the presidential villa. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, in a statement clarifies that though a fire broke out the evening of Saturday, March 6, burning shrubs between the outer wire fence and walls surrounding the villa, the fire was contained by fire stations of the State House. The statement, which appreciates well-meaning Nigerians for their concern, further says no life was lost and that the fire service is investigating the cause of the fire. The Supreme Court of Nigeria has announced the death of Justice Nwale Sylvester Ngwuta, who died early Sunday morning. The late Justice Sylvester Ngwuta, who was due to retire from the Supreme Court bench on attaining the mandatory retirement age of 70 on March 30, 2021, fell sick and was admitted at the National Hospital Abuja on Friday, the 5th of March. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has condoled with family and friends of the late Justice of the Supreme Court, saying his death will leave a gap in the Supreme Court, considering his experience and dedication to interpretation of the Constitution. President Buhari believes Justice Ngwuta lived and served the country with his knowledge of the law. Next is Sports Update with Ayodiji Makinde.